What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the next video here in my docu-series, kind of, sort of. Just documenting myself learning how to draw an enemy here. The first video I posted was just kind of feeling out how this whole process was gonna go like. I also realized I didn't put any music in the background, so gonna be changing that going forward. This video should have music, some very relaxing lo-fi music that just is a perfect complement to drawing, in my opinion. So essentially the only difference with what I'm drawing in this video compared to the first video I made is that I'm really giving these shapes more depth. I'm beginning to try to draw them in a 3D space and give them volume and depth. So it's still kind of the same process as I was doing before. You have that line, you split it into 4 sections, and you draw the head, the rib cage, and then the pelvic bone. So essentially that's what I'm doing here, and the pelvic bone, just kind of drawing it in kind of like a semicircle, semi-sphere, so to speak, and shading in the top part because it's that part is kind of facing towards you, the viewer, as well as the bottom part of the rib cage, which is also facing towards the viewer. Next steps would really be drawing the side view, and that'll really give you a better understanding of kind of where these shapes live in the space of the drawing, in the space of the page. Yeah, it's just kind of practicing drawing this kind of structure here. I'm definitely noticing it after I've been doing it for several times. It just starts to become easier for me. I don't think about it as often. I don't really consciously think, okay, this needs to be this high, this needs to be this wide. In a way, it's like your brain's kind of on autopilot, like when you're driving in a car, when you've been driving for a while. For those of you who do drive, after years of driving, you just kind of don't think about certain things anymore. You don't really have to focus on it, and that's ideally what I want to get to. That's the point I want to get to when it comes to drawing figures and just kind of roughing things out when I'm drawing a character. If I have like a pose in mind, I want to be able to just kind of draw it very quickly, very roughly, without having to be like, all right, how long does this part of the body need to be? How wide of this part of the body need to be? Where does this part go? In this pose. That's the end goal for me with this whole process here. And right now I'm going into the female anatomy, and the only difference here is just like the wider pelvic bone. So instead of kind of drawing more of like a smaller semi-sphere, this one kind of extends more, going outward from the middle, and then it rounds off near the end. So some of these actually aren't rounding off at the end, but I know at the end of the video I do kind of round it off more so than I do right now. The rib cage and the head, more or less, just at this point rather, they're more or less the same as the male version there. I'm kind of enjoying just getting back into drawing, trying to get better at creating like different models and poses and figures, really, just so eventually it'll kind of help me out in the long run. I'll be able to draw characters a lot easier. I won't have to like stress over about small minute details like this. That's definitely far down the line for me, but it's something I'm looking forward to eventually. And if anyone's kind of following along and trying to do the same thing, just just repetition. It's obviously not the most mind-blowing advice here, but it's kind of working for me from what I can tell so far. So I can only speak from experience, and I think if I keep this up, I'll definitely get a lot better. So if you want to get better at drawing, just keep at it. Just keep drawing the same figure over and over again, and in time you'll be able to do it really easily. I would just say to try to make sure that your proportions in your figures are at least close to what they should be. At this step in the process, you're obviously not going to need to be that accurate, since it's just kind of roughing things out. But I think it's good practice to just try to be conscious about the size of the head and the torso and the pelvic bone in relation to one another. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.